This is a Commodore VIC-20. It's a computer I didn't have back in the day, but I was aware of. They were considered a little bit of a joke among the kids who I was in school with. Not because they weren't a bad computer. In reality, their competition was things like the Sinclair ZX81 or the much more expensive TRS-80, like Model 1, earlier models, and maybe the Apple II, that kind of thing. They were all about cheap gaming. But by the time models like this one, the coloured rainbow thingamajig there suggests it came from about 1983. By the time these hit the market in the UK, the Sinclair Spectrum 48K was hugely popular, and that was just simply a more capable machine. So the VIC-20 was just like, well, I only knew one kid who'd got one, and he got laughed at regularly. It's like, what the hell have you got that for? But as I said, I didn't have one back then. I never played one back then. I only played this one, as a retro device, computer, whatever, retro gaming experience in probably about 10 years ago actually, when I bought this one. The same is also true of the Commodore 64. I didn't have a Commodore 64 back then. I played one of them more in recent years as a retro computer, and I have to be honest, I don't really like the Commodore 64. I'm not a fan. I'm also not a fan of the Sinclair Spectrum, so that's two camps now ranting and raving and calling me some kind of heathen. But the weird thing is, I do like this, and though it's a less capable machine, I like it more than the Commodore 64. Blasphemy, heresy, I hear you all hollering, but no, it's true, I like it. It's less capable, but it's got this kind of cheerful, hey, I might not be very good at this, but I'm trying kind of feel to it. You know, here's my approximation of this arcade game, have fun. And it is. It's fun. So, with that in mind, and with my immense thanks to both my Patreon supporters who enabled me to buy this, and to Rod Hull of The Future Was 8-Bit, who completely unrequested by me gave me a discount, I've got this. It is the Penultimate Plus cartridge. And what I hear you ask is a Penultimate Plus cartridge. It's actually a combination of things. It is a game cartridge in that it has got 70 or so games in it, but it's also a RAM cartridge, and it's not just any old RAM cartridge. It's like all of the RAM cartridges. You got I'm trying to remember what sizes. Is it 8, 16 and 32 or some? We'll find out when I turn it on, because it'll tell us. You can basically select your RAM size, because if I'm not mistaken, and I might be, VIC-20 games require the correct RAM size. Like if you're playing an 8K game, do you need the 8K RAM pack, and it won't run on a 16K RAM pack? I might be wrong about that, but whatever. Before buying this, all I had was a 16K RAM pack, and you know, it's kind of limiting when there are games that require something else. So to have the whole lot on one thing, selectable via menu, is great. It also allows easy and quick access via a menu to software on the SD to IEC device that I use it on my Commodore 64, but it's also compatible with this. I haven't tried that yet, but just the fact that it's got that menu thing built in, rather than having to type in a load of commands that I actually don't remember. I'll have to look that up when I come to use my Commodore 64 again. But yes, it's very, very clever stuff. And there's also software on it from The Future Was 8-Bit. Things that are, I'm not sure if they're sold separately on cartridges or on tape or whatnot, but there is a game called Cheese and Onion, which I've seen mentioned many a time, and others as well. So yes, designed and developed by Dave Curran. Those games, I believe. Yeah, okay, right. I'm just reading here now. A full user guide can be downloaded from thefuturewas8bit.com. I haven't actually downloaded the manual, mainly because I haven't needed to. I'm going to plug it in and turn it on and show you what it do. You plug it into the normal cartridge slot in the back, as you would expect. VIC-20 cartridge slots being notoriously awkward, apparently. Yeah, trying to get them to... There we go. So you plug that in there. There. Okay, so that gives us a menu which we can go through using the joystick. I don't know if the cursors do anything as well. Do they? Yes, they do. Just seems to go up. Does shift bring it back down? No? Ooh. Okay, don't know what that is. That's me pressing the Commodore key. Anyway, I'll just use the joystick. So, main menu. The future was 8-bit titles. Games, adventure games, paddle games, utilities. So, set RAM. Unexpanded, 3K, so that would be like standard without a RAM pack. 8K, 24K, 27K, 32K, 35K. So these are the kind of RAM packs that you could buy and needed to play certain games. Change drive. Don't know, I guess. Have you got more? If you've got more than one drive plugged in, I didn't know that was a thing, but that shows what I know. Not a lot. Exit to basic. Run SD to IEC FB. I don't know what FB stands for, but yes, the menu for loading games off of an SD to IEC thing. Run load. Yep. Cool. Let's. I'm going to we'll look at. You got all of these as well, like shortcuts on the function keys, which is handy. Strangely, I can't be bothered with functions and whatnot. I just go straight from the menu. But it's handy that they're there for people who want to do that kind of thing. Let's have a look at the future was 8-bit titles. All of the other stuff, all of these games, I'm going to do separate videos of. We might have a quick look at some of them in a minute on this video, but certainly one I want to show here is the one that has had the most exposure recently, and with good cause. Cheese and Onion, as mentioned on the thing here, designed and developed by... Is this the game was designed and developed by Dave Curran, or the cartridge? Don't know actually. Okay. I've had a quick go at this, and the graphics of the VIC-20 are chunky, so it doesn't matter how it's programmed, it's always going to look chunky, and it does. But what amazes me about this, and I don't know about the gameplay because I've only played it very briefly, is the movement. You have got really impressive scrolling. I just... How was this achieved on a VIC-20? I do not know. Oh. Oh, God. This is the furthest I've got whilst playing this game so far. So, I didn't know that was going to happen. Oh dear. Yeah. So I mean, this is the kind of quality you can expect from the oh, okay. It's very, very impressive. Certainly, if I'm not mistaken, and I frequently am, cartridges on the VIC-20 allowed access to more system memory when compared to loading from tape. So watch me do exactly the same. Oh no, what is this? It's not something you want to jump on. Okay, now I'm not going to play any more of that right now. That was really just to demonstrate the kind of thing you can expect on here. There are two buttons on the back of the cartridge. One lights up and one doesn't. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I might be, that resets the game, and it has, which is cool. That, hold it down. It seems to take a moment of holding down. If you just press it quickly, it does that. Okay, we'll hold that down a bit longer. And it goes back to the main menu, which is cool because there's no turning off the computer to reboot, which you kind of have to do if you're just running normal tapes or cartridges or whatever. It's good, it saves on wear and tear, and it kind of gives a shock to the system of a computer, I think, when you turn them on and off. Power surges and all that being a thing. I don't know what I'm talking about, but these are the things I think are issues, certainly with old computers. Yeah, that's really all I've got to say in terms of showing what it does. It does a lot. It's got, let's show you. These are all the games that are on it. It's a lot. The name of this Penultimate Plus cartridge, I believe the penultimate one, the one just before this, without the plus, had 40 games on it. This, I believe, has about 70. I have played a few. And I'm going to show them in separate videos, which is why I'm not going through loads of them here. Yeah, 3. And you can just cycle through the pages by pulling right rather than going down. I've played, I played Galaxian, that's interesting. Gorf is legendary. I've got a separate video of that I recorded years ago, but it's well worth checking out. Gorf is just bloody amazing on this thing. I had a go at Pac-Man, that's entirely playable, and it's just amusing. You'll see when I do a separate video of it. Pole Position I had a go at, and was surprised actually. I'm not really a fan of Pole Position on the Commodore 64, or I wasn't years ago. I don't remember. I played it recently and I can't remember what I thought of it. But I had a go of it, had it on here yesterday, and I was really impressed. Again, I will do a separate video of that. So yeah, that is that. Adventure games, those I'm pretty sure appear in the main list. Paddle games, yeah, they definitely do. A Mega Race, that one has been recommended. I will certainly be doing a video of that. And that was a paddle game. I don't know, do you have to have a Commodore paddle, or will Atari paddles work? Because I've got Atari paddles but no Commodore paddles. Utilities, what do we got there? Vic Term, is that like terminal software? Will that get it online of sorts? Or would that be like from computer to computer? I don't know. Commodore Artist, so that'll be some kind of art package, I guess. VIC, I don't know what that is. Different versions of BASIC. Super Expander, 3K and 27K. Don't know what they are either. Let's press it and see what happens. I don't know. It's a thing. It looks like it's in BASIC. I guess it's like BASIC but with more memory. Certainly could be useful if you're programming. I'm not. I suck at programming. There we go. That is the Penultimate Plus cartridge from The Future Was 8-Bit. I'm going to put a link down in the doohickey link thing to The Future Was 8-Bit's website, maybe directly to the page for this thing. That is not a sponsored link. I get no money or anything, and the fact that I got a discount has no bearing whatsoever on what I think of this cartridge. And what do I think of this cartridge? I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. I've had this VIC-20 for quite a long while and barely used it because tape loading is a pain in the arse, and you got the whole needing different RAM cartridges thing, or a lot of the stuff I wanted to play I just needed more RAM. Whether or not I could have played the smaller games, not sure. Yeah, but just to have such really fast, easy access to so many really good games. It's like the best software for the VIC-20. Certainly the stuff that was on cartridges, which was able to use more memory, is all on here, as far as I know. Could be wrong, but that's my understanding. I think it's great. Extra RAM, load of games, menu for SD to IEC, all built into one thing. Just plug it in and away you go. It makes playing VIC-20 games so easy. And as I said, I like the VIC-20 and I like it more than the Commodore 64, so having this, expect a lot of VIC-20 games in coming weeks. I'm about to edit this video, but then I'm just going to sit and record a whole batch of VIC-20 games because it's great. Okay, so my thanks to Rod Hull at The Future Was 8-Bit, and my thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, without whom I couldn't have bought this. So yeah, and thank you for watching.
Right, hit the subscribe button or I'm getting naked on camera. Go on, do it. Right, you asked for it. Ah, you asked for it. Ha, ha, oh.